Welcome to the Sugar Show, everybody! You know, he does a
Step into the intriguing world of Sean O'Malley, the dynamic force in the bantamweight division. As an undefeated UFC superstar, O'Malley possesses a unique blend of striking prowess, unwavering determination, and captivating charisma.
Three-piece dinner with biscuits. O'Malley! Oh!
But what happened to those brave enough to face him? Explore the riveting stories of O'Malley's opponents before and after their encounters, witnessing firsthand the impact that stepping into the octagon with the Sugar Show had on their careers. Sean's fight against Carlos Lazoya was a seemingly controversial one. Sean found himself in deep waters against grappler while on his way to a decision loss. Sean gets flattened out by Carlos Lazoya and starts eating several punches, and the referee steps in between to presumably stop the fight.
Tag him with that right hand, just threw him down.
O'Malley goes high. Now short uppercut, Tecco covers up.
But instead, he gives Sean time to recover from illegal shots to the back of the head. But none of those shots were unlawful, and many fans in attendance and those who have seen the footage critique Sean for playing up a foul that didn't occur, presumably to earn a DQ victory, which is precisely what happened. Thankfully, Carlos is a good sport about the outcome to this day. Sean O'Malley had a successful amateur career, finishing with 9 wins and 2 losses. He transitioned to professional MMA in 2015 and quickly amassed a record of 7-0. O'Malley's impressive performances caught the attention of Dana White, leading to his invitation to showcase his skills in Dana White's Contender Series in 2017. Sean said, and I quote, "With this opportunity, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to kick this kid out. I'll come out there, balance and problems conference will go down. I'm going to kick him in the body, I'm going to kick him in the head, and the fight will be over in 2 rounds." He did face some adversity early into the opening round. Still, Sean recovered and overtook his opponent to earn a vicious knockout. Dana White was impressed. Even Snoop Dogg, who was in attendance, could not contain his excitement for the young fighter with such an apparent future star and his presence. Dana had no choice but to award Sean an official UFC contract.
Didn't even bother following up.
Well,
Oh my goodness!
if I could quote Dana White, if you don't know now, you know. It's time to buy.
It's even more impressive when you realize Sean predicted a highlight reel finish before this fight. And when you consider that Sean was in lousy shape, Sean still had to make his UFC debut. And under the bright lights, O'Malley shined, giving us glimpses of his base striking skill set, and even his grappling ability, which earned him a decision victory. But even so, he wasn't reaching his full potential in these last 2 performances, because Sean was operating on fumes through a vegan diet, perfectly explaining Sean's frail physique and less precise execution. It wasn't until Sean ran into Dr. Andy Galpin that he made a change, and the results were very evident in Sugar's second UFC fight in 2018.
That front kick up the middle.
That man hurt him bad. He's doing it again.
And again, the hesitation.
It was a much more confident and powerful display of what Sean is capable of, mixing up so many elements of his striking and dominating Andrei Sukumtat on the feet. And when it hit the ground, Sean was attacking beautifully with triangles and guillotines alike, clearly searching for the finish. But terrifyingly in round 3, Sean hurt his foot and couldn't even stand opposite his opponent. However, with poor decision-making by Andrei Sukumtat, he took a shot down and wrestled him for the remainder of the round. It was evident by the end that Sean endured an agonizing injury. He couldn't even stand for the reading of the decision. Yes, and Sean's most incredible adversity. Yet he managed to win a fight that perhaps would have been ruled a TKO if Andrei Sukumtat hadn't decided to wrestle. But with another win in his pocket, Sean couldn't have been more content. Sean O'Malley faced a delay in his next fight. However, his journey was further hindered when he tested positive for Ostarine, despite it being residual from a previous failed test.
Was enough. And he didn't want to see
You
it.
gotta respect what that guy did.
As a result, O'Malley received another 6-month suspension from USADA. Sean faced Jose Quinones in March 2020 and immediately started dismantling him on the feet. A front kick to the body and then, what was a near-flawless execution, Sean earned another first-round finish for the highlight reel. For his 4th UFC fight, Sean would stand across Eddie Wineland, a veteran bantamweight who was the first weak bantamweight champion, an intimidating outing for any fighter. But Sean was up for the task, and in classic Sugar fashion, O'Malley got to quick work with his hands to set up yet another first-round highlight reel knockout. This performance elevated Sean to a level he had never seen before, and he was no longer a rising UFC prospect. He was a determined contender marching to the UFC title, leading a trail of bodies behind and doing so with a level of swagger unseen since Sean's admitted inspiration.
No trouble. Oh my goodness. Jason
Shawn then faced an experienced bantamweight Marlon Chito Vera at UFC 252. Marlon Chito Vera said, "I just see myself going in there, and I'm fine. I'm pretty ready." And Shawn replied to him, "As fast as the starter I am, and as slow as he is, I think that he calls a first-round knockout." But this fight was destined to have an unsatisfying conclusion as Shawn started to get his timing range and rhythm in the first round. Marlon landed a kick to Shawn's perennial nerve, which caused Shawn to get drop foot and not be able to stand on his legs. Sugar tried to dance around Marlon Chito Vera to see the next round hopefully, but with limited footwork and 20 seconds left in the fight, Chito capitalized on O'Malley's inability to stand and collected a first-round TKO victory. Shawn was unaccepting of the result, feeling as though he was still undefeated. The interviewer then asked him, and he said, "Well, just people thought it was funny that you always said that that wasn't a loss." Shawn replied, "It's not his toe that hit my nerve. It was a weird thing. His toe bounced off like a button. I said that I'm not counting that as a loss, and I was like, yeah, it was a freak accident." And to this, Chito politely disagreed. Chito said, "I don't know what he's saying, but I'd knock him out." Shawn's next bout would be against the experienced Thomas Almeida, in which he was interviewed, and it went this way.
He's doing it again.
Again, the hesitation.
The interviewer asked Shawn this question: "What do you think a win over Thomas Almeida does for your career?" Shawn answered saying, "Depends on how I win. I'm going to bust him up, and that's it." While his opponent was short and precise in his reply, Almeida told the interviewer, "I'm gonna go for the knockout." Shawn replied, "Go out there and put his lights out the way I put out Eddie's lights. Make a big statement. I'm up in that talk." Almeida complimented Shawn, saying he's a good fighter, but he needs to prove it. With his perennial nerve intact, Sean O'Malley put on a clinic against Almeida, outstriking and outmaneuvering his opponent for 3 straight rounds. And despite Almeida's impressive durability, O'Malley added Thomas to his collection of finishes.
That front kick up the middle.
Oh, that left hand hurt him bad. He's doing it again.
And again, the hesitation.
After the fight, Shawn again takes to the interview to say, "I got to prove a lot of stupid people that they're silly. It was nice." Shawn faced Chris Mutino at UFC 264. Sean O'Malley quickly overwhelmed his very tough adversary, piecing him up on the feet for 3 straight rounds while Mutino kept marching forward. But with just 30 seconds left in the fight, Shawn found the opening to deliver just enough punishment to warrant a TKO stoppage. Before the fight with Paiva, Shawn was interviewed, and he told the audience that they offered me Paiva, who's ranked 15, you know. I didn't know that at the time I had to put his lights out. I can't. It can't be a boring fight if it's a boring fight. You know, I don't have any say in what's next. Paiva got angry or motivated by that statement. I wouldn't know, but he replied to Shawn's provocation and said, "I'm gonna put this clown where he belongs and where the clown belongs. It doesn't belong to the octagon. He belongs in the circus, and that's what I'll do on Saturday." In his most impressive outing, Shawn obliterated Paiva in the first round for another highlight reel finish. It's even more impressive when you consider he fought through an injured rib that night. Sean O'Malley's most formidable opponent would come in the form of Pedro Munoz, a skilled veteran whose last 4 losses were to former or future champions. Munoz himself complimented the fighter, saying in an interview that, "Myself, I think I can't stop him within 3 rounds for sure." And for a strong opponent like Pedro to say that, it means that Shawn was also a strong and formidable opponent to him. But unfortunately, this fight would not have a satisfactory ending. The two met in July 2022, and after spending the first round exchanging ranged attacks, the two returned for the second round, where Shawn unfortunately delivered an eye poke to Munoz that we later learned to cause severe damage, and since Munoz couldn't continue the fight, it was ruled as a no contest. But Shawn felt like he'd won and that Pedro quit. Shawn, after the fight, said, "I do feel like I won the fight, but it's not like the emotions of winning a battle fake eye poke walking around like, damn, I think I dominated. I didn't get hit once I put people on highlight reels like they were beaters." Yeah, and he knew that was about to happen. And Pedro was very displeased with Shawn's post-fight comments, declaring that he won when he did not. Pedro also took to the public to say a lot of heat sectioned after the fight was things that I don't think are right based on my values. He can apologize to me when and then you will make fun. That's kind of like, you know, things that I tell my kids not to do. But it didn't matter, as Shawn would be put on the fast track to a high-level bout. Shawn faced former UFC champion Petr Yan in a #1 contender fight. Shawn was very excited, even saying in his interview that this Petr Yan fight excited me so much. It's a risky fight from Petr, he's not stupid. You know, he looks, well, maybe he is. The interviewer also told Sean that his opponent stalls. He's the perfect one for you to do that, to go out there against him, put on your showing feet, and potentially knock him out. Sean boldly declared, "Yeah, I mean I could see myself doing that to anybody in the division." Although the opponent Petr Yan said, Sean is a UFC project and Conor wannabe. It looked like the words spoken by Petr could not dampen Sean's excitement because he said, "Now I have the opportunity to go out there and show the world that I'm as good as I've been saying. I am the woman here, which is beautiful. Not that I've been looking no well. You're focused on your fight. Yeah, folks up, Peter, he's cute too." And the two were as cordial as you could imagine. Sean told the public with confidence, breaking out of him in loads. "My prediction is that I beat his ass. No way he's 5'5" or 5'7". I believe I'm a lot better everywhere." Petr replied, "It's not about the height. Look at him, he's like on the side of the road." But Sean said, "I'm gonna smash Peter. How about that is a better answer 7 days out for the fight today. And I'm telling you right now, I will beat Petr on October the 22nd, 2022. But talk is cheap, and the two would finally square off at UFC 280 at the end of 2022. It was a contentious battle. Sean hurt Yan. Yan hurt Sean. Sean outlined Yan throughout the fight, and Yan controlled Sean on the ground. And perhaps the most controversial decision of the year, Sean got the nod. The MMA community was shocked, but in classic O'Malley fashion, he defended the outcome. Sean, after the fight again, with more conviction and boldness than before, said, "I just proved that you know I belong at the top of the division, outstruck him, and turned him into a wrestler. A lot of people just hated the fact that I skipped the entire top 10 and went to the top dog." On the 19th of August, Sean O'Malley faces the reigning and defending bantamweight champion, Aljamain Sterling, and we expect this to be tough. Let's see how it goes. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe to our channel for more videos. Thanks for watching.